She always called me her safe place. Until I found out she was also calling someone else her escape. I found their chat logs. I printed them. Then I turned them into a story. I read it aloud at a spoken word night she attended with him. The last line? I hope you two find each other worth the fallout. I met her on a rainy Friday in Seattle. I was 34, a software engineer who had just moved from Chicago to work for a tech startup. She was 32, a freelance graphic designer with a penchant for vintage cameras and indie music. We met at a local coffee shop, both seeking refuge from the downpour. Our shared table turned into shared stories, and before I knew it, we were inseparable. She often called me her safe place. Whenever life overwhelmed her, she would curl up beside me, whispering that I was her anchor in the storm. I took pride in being that for her. In a world full of chaos, I was her calm. 3 years into our relationship, I noticed changes. She became distant, often lost in thought. Her phone always clutched tightly. Late-night messages, hushed phone calls, and sudden weekend trips became frequent. One evening, she left her laptop open. Curiosity got the better of me, and I glanced at the screen. What I saw shattered my world. Chat logs between her and another man, filled with intimate messages, plans for secret getaways, and declarations of love. She called him her escape. I was her safe place, but he was her escape. The realization was a dagger to my heart. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, I printed every chat log, every message, every photo. I compiled them into a narrative, weaving our story with the betrayal. Each page was a testament to the love I thought we shared and the deception she harbored. Seattle has a vibrant spoken word scene. I signed up for an open mic night at a local venue she frequented. I knew she would be there, and I suspected he might accompany her. The night arrived. The venue was packed, the air thick with anticipation. I spotted her in the crowd, seated beside him, their fingers intertwined. When my turn came, I took the stage, heart pounding. I began reading the story, our story. The audience was captivated, the room silent except for my voice. As I delved deeper, the narrative shifted, revealing the betrayal. Gasps echoed as I recited verbatim the messages she had sent him. Her face turned pale, eyes wide with shock. He looked confused, then horrified. I concluded with the line, I hope you two find each other worth the fallout. The room erupted in applause, but I walked off the stage without acknowledging it. She tried to contact me afterward, leaving voicemails and messages filled with apologies and justifications. I ignored them all. I needed closure, and I had found it. I channeled my pain into writing, publishing the story anonymously online. It resonated with many, sparking discussions about love, trust, and betrayal. In time, I healed. I moved on, finding solace in new relationships and experiences. But I never forgot the lesson she taught me. Even the safest places can be breached, and sometimes, the escape isn't worth the damage left behind. 2 months passed. I had finally started sleeping again. The kind of sleep where you wake up without the weight on your chest. But then one morning, I got a call. Unknown number. I ignored it. Then I got a text from my friend Marcus. Yo, did you post the spoken word story online? I think it's going viral. Like, seriously viral. I had, but only anonymously. No names. Just feelings. But someone who knew, had connected the dots. And worse, someone had leaked her name. The comments were savage. People took screenshots from her social media, matched timelines, even found pictures of the other guy, who turned out to be a married spiritual advisor from Spokane with a newborn baby. Her inbox was flooded. She deleted all her accounts within 48 hours. Then, I got a knock on my door. It was her. No makeup. Hair a mess. Tears. Shaking. Please, she said. I'm losing everything. He blocked me. His wife threatened to sue. I got fired from 2 freelance gigs. This isn't what I meant to happen. I didn't speak. I didn't move. I just watched her fall apart on my doorstep. That was the last time I saw her. Or so I thought. 3 weeks later, I got served. Defamation lawsuit. Her name wasn't in the story, but she argued that people clearly knew it was her and that it ruined her life. I sat in my car after reading the papers. My hands were shaking. Then I got another call. It was from the venue that hosted the spoken word night. A guy named Russell. He ran the event. Hey man, look, I didn't want to call you, but she's trying to get the venue shut down for platforming abuse. She's gone full scorched earth. My mind raced. I never imagined she'd go this far. But she wasn't done yet. Court day arrived. Her lawyer painted me as a vengeful ex, a cruel man who used art to destroy a fragile woman. They brought in character witnesses. They even showed printed Reddit threads from people tearing her apart. But then, my lawyer brought out the screenshots, the actual chat logs, the timestamps, the proof that she had lied, cheated, and planned to leave me, all while whispering, "I love you," in my ear. The judge didn't look impressed by either side. But something weird happened right after that. As we left the courthouse, a stranger approached me. "Hey," he said, handing me a folder. "She did this to my brother. Same exact thing. You're not the first." Inside the folder were copies of emails and text messages from years ago. Same style, same phrases. "She's been calling different guys her safe place and escape for years," he said. "And every time they call her out, she flips the script." My stomach turned. This wasn't just about me. I dug deeper. I found 2 more guys. One was in therapy after she ghosted him the week he proposed. Another had lost his job after she made false harassment claims when he ended things. I had proof. So I hired someone to help me build the story, a real journalist this time. We packaged everything into an article, her patterns, her aliases, the victims. It wasn't revenge anymore. It was truth. We pitched it to several publications. One of them bid. The headline? Her safe place. His escape plan. The woman behind the most viral spoken word story of the year. It hit the internet like a meteor. She responded with a video. She cried, denied everything, called it a smear campaign. But this time, the comments weren't on her side. The article went viral overnight. By morning, it was on Reddit, Twitter, and even picked up by a mid-tier news site. My inbox exploded. Some messages thanked me. Some were from men who'd been through something eerily similar, not with her, but with someone like her. Some were from women calling me a narcissist for airing dirty laundry. And then, one message stood out. It was from her mother. "I'm not saying you're wrong, but you should know she's not well. She was diagnosed 2 years ago. She didn't tell you. She didn't tell anyone." It hit me like a punch to the chest. Borderline personality disorder. History of abandonment trauma. Past suicide attempt. Things I never knew. Things that, maybe, she was scared to share. Suddenly, I wasn't sure if I was the villain in her story, or the victim. The next week, she disappeared. Deleted her phone number. Her address was empty. A mutual friend said she checked into a private rehab facility somewhere near Portland. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel vindicated. I felt cold. I kept replaying the moments. Did I go too far? Did I? Then, another twist. The journalist I'd worked with reached out. "There's something else. Something you need to see." He sent me an anonymous tip that had come in after the article published. Photos, videos, her and the spiritual advisor, not just having an affair, but actively setting up fake accounts together, targeting men for money, then ghosting them. A scam. Emotional con artistry with a romantic wrapper. "She used you for cover," the journalist said. "To look normal, stable, relatable." My jaw clenched. It wasn't just betrayal. It was fraud. I brought the new evidence to a lawyer. There were now legal grounds to pursue damages. Financial, not just emotional. Fraud, manipulation, conspiracy to defame. I wasn't even sure I wanted to go that far. But a voice in my head said, "She never stopped pushing until you broke. So why should you stop now?" We filed a civil suit. Not for money. For record. For truth. The lawsuit was sealed, but someone leaked the docket. Again, her name trended. But then, he resurfaced. The spiritual advisor. His wife had left him. His church had excommunicated him. Now he wanted revenge, not on her, but on me. "None of this would have happened if you just kept your mouth shut," he DM'd. I laughed. The man had burned down his own life, and still blamed someone else for lighting the match. But then it got worse. He showed up at my work. He screamed at the front desk. Tried to force his way in. Security tackled him. The next day, my car window was smashed. I moved apartments. Bought a security camera. Slept with a bat near the bed. This wasn't a story anymore. This was real. Messy. Dangerous. Then the cops got involved. The advisor was arrested for stalking. During the investigation, his phone was seized. What they found shocked even me. A hidden folder. Dozens of recorded calls. Screenshots. Conversations with other women. He wasn't just part of her schemes. He had his own. He'd been manipulating her, too. He once told her, "Make him feel like the safe place. Then run." It always works. Suddenly, the entire thing cracked wide open. It wasn't her versus me. It was both of us caught in something uglier than either of us imagined. I sat with it for weeks. The pain, the rage, the regret, the strange sense of connection to a woman I now barely recognized, yet knew so well. Then, one day a letter arrived. Handwritten. No return address. It was her. She wrote, "I wasn't lying when I called you my safe place. You really were. But I didn't know how to live without escaping everything. I hurt you because I was too scared to be still. I don't deserve your forgiveness. I just wanted to say it. That I did love you, even if I ruined it." I sat on my porch, letter in hand, the wind cutting through the silence. It was the first time in a long while I didn't feel angry, just tired. The story wasn't over. But maybe, just maybe, I didn't need to finish it to find peace. After the letter, I stayed off social media. I stopped responding to interview requests. I even told the journalist to let the story fade. But peace didn't last. I started getting nightmares. Of her. Of him. Of me yelling in that crowded cafe while reading their messages out loud. I started realizing something I hadn't wanted to admit before. I didn't just hurt her. I wanted to. I didn't stop at truth. I burned the ground behind me so no one could walk away clean, including myself. The moment I turned our pain into applause, that was the moment I stopped being the safe place. And I became something else. 6 months later, I got a call from a lawyer representing her. Not about the lawsuit. About a book. A publisher wanted rights to the whole story, the affair, the spoken word night, the court drama, everything. They wanted to turn it into a novel, possibly a film. They needed sign-offs. Mine. Hers. Even the advisors. I hung up. Then, I drove to Portland. I found her. She looked different. Thinner. Slower. Her voice was soft and cracked. But she was alive. Trying. "I'm not here to fight," I told her. "I'm here to end it." She nodded. "I've lost everything. My work. My name. I live in a guest house now, cleaning rooms for rent." Then she looked at me, and this part still gives me chills. She said, "You know what you are to me now? Not the safe place. Not the storm. You're the earthquake. You cracked open everything." And I didn't argue. Because she was right. We both signed off on the book deal. The story would be told. Real names changed, but the skeleton of it intact. The betrayal. The spoken word. The fallout. My rage. Her lies. His manipulation. All of it. I donated every penny of my cut to a shelter for victims of emotional abuse. She didn't. She used her share to vanish again. But one night, I got an alert from a random burner account I had on Reddit. There was a thread titled, "What happened to the woman from the spoken word breakup story?" In the comments, someone claimed she had moved to Nevada, using a different name. Working under the table at a yoga retreat. Healing. I closed the tab. Let her heal. But I wasn't done. The book dropped 6 months later. The internet devoured it. Reviews called it raw, ugly, and impossible to look away from. Someone on Goodreads called it a breakup story for the nuclear age. And then the final strike, the spoken word tour. I planned it secretly, quietly. No posters, no big promos. Just me, a mic, and the story city by city. I didn't change the story. I updated it. Added the aftermath. The lawsuits. The guilt. The people I hurt trying to hurt her. The line that always silenced the room. She broke me with a lie. I broke her with the truth. And then the ending. The one I saved for the very last show in Seattle. I hope you two found each other worth the fallout. Because what we left behind wasn't just love. It was scorched earth. The crowd erupted. But I didn't bow. I just walked off stage and never performed it again. Years passed. The book faded. The buzz quieted. I went back to building things, apps, websites, nothing with meaning, just code and sleep. Then, on the 5th anniversary of that first open mic, I got a letter. No return address. Just a note. You were my safe place. You were also my reckoning. I hope someday you forgive us both. I burned the letter in the sink. Forgiveness wasn't part of this story. Some stories don't end in peace. Some end in flames, and in knowing you struck the match.